It's very flattering to hear that. I'm referred to as an elder now, and we've been talking about with other people that are also referred to as elders what that means. And I still don't feel like an elder. I feel like an elder in training. Like I have some experience, so that qualifies me to begin my training. I'm always questioning whether or not I have something to say that is really of value to many people, that's original. I mean, of course I have something to say of value. Everyone does. I don't know that what I have to say is original. It's just I've gotten to a point where I figured it out. For me, a very pivotal moment was coming home from work and just sitting on my couch and suddenly realizing I wasn't happy. That it was just, it was another day and everything was the same. And I was successful. I had a good job. I had everything I needed. I had everything I needed. I had friends, family, a good job, and I wasn't happy. So then that became the question: is why not? Like I've checked the boxes. I've been a good girl. I did what I was supposed to do. When is happily ever after going to kick in? And so that became my question. And it was like, I know that I was happy once upon a time. Like what changed? And so it went to thinking about my childhood and what I wanted to be when I grew up and what I thought the world was going to be like. And aside from figuring out it wasn't exactly what was explained to me, but that's true for everyone, was that I had, in the pursuit of checking the boxes and being a good girl, I had forgotten who I was and what my heart wanted me to do and what my heart was calling me to do. And so I began to make that transition. It was a different road than I thought it would be, but because I started down that road, I was led to the right place. Things shifted along the way, and life got better. I was happier every day. Yeah, I mean, not that I didn't have days of misery, but for the most part, my day is so much happier. My life is so much happier. And I feel like I'm authentic. I remember this very clearly, the day I looked in the mirror and recognized the woman that I had wanted to grow up to be. And that was powerful. And it wasn't really how I looked. It was just everything about me I had determined. It was like what I created. It was the way I wanted it. It wasn't according to an image that had been projected for me. It had really come from inside of me. So that was very powerful. And not saying that I never veered away from that, but I found my way home. I felt like I found my way home. Yeah. And that's an ongoing journey because the world changes, so my place in it shifts. But I've finally found my way home. In a lot of cultures, right now, the youth are struggling. And that's part of being an elder. Traditionally, being an elder is offering some guidance and sharing your wisdom. And that's the question is can I do that? Do I have wisdom to share? Should I be? And what does that look like? And also being an example. It's like I have to, if I've understood certain things about the way the world works, its systems and how society is, and there are things that I feel are more harmful than helpful, then I have to change them. I have to do what I can to change them in a way that is in sync, that harmonizes with my heart, that's in resonance. I can't put myself above anyone else. It has to be in a circle, like we're all in a circle. So recognize my place in that circle and occupy it responsibly with compassion and forgiveness. And I think if I can do all of those things, then I'll learn the rest of what I need to learn. I think we're born with a purpose for being caretakers for the earth, to be part of the planet, for all of us to contribute something positive. and that's gotten a little out of balance, and we've lost focus, and I get that it's about survival. A lot of people are just trying to survive and get through what they have to get through. But it's more than that, and we're born for more than that. And we can achieve it, but we can, and there's such joy in feeling that you're living your purpose and knowing, because my heart is happier when I know that this is a good thing that I'm doing. And it's about the world. It's not about, speaking for myself, it's not about becoming part of a financial system. It's not about my place in a financial system. I'm not trashing that. I'm just saying, for me, that's not what it's about. And I think that artificial constructs our hearts aren't called to prop up artificial constructs, is what I believe. So, and I think that will bring, I think the world will be a much happier place when more people are living out of their hearts, and will make place for other people to do that. I think a lot of people are, I don't know that you can be still and quiet enough to listen if you're in survival mode, if you're in fear, if you're traumatized. There's so much healing that needs to take place. I think so much comes out of trauma, and you can't teach something you haven't learned. If you haven't been held in love, if you haven't known compassion, how can you teach compassion if you haven't experienced it? Now, one of my focuses is putting ego aside. That's big. And that it's really about community. And well, I think I've always known that, but trying to live that, to put ego aside and really understand my part in the whole, and being supportive and being open. It begins with being open to younger people, like looking out for them and knowing who needs help or who's interested in learning something that you have to offer, and determining what I do have to offer, what I'm confident in offering, and doing it without arrogance. Again, it's not with ego, but just, making the offering and seeing what's needed. Again, as an elder, we can support them in creating something new, rather than saying that's not the way it's always been done. And I respect tradition. I'm very much into doing things the way that they've been done. This is the way I was taught to do it. This is the way I'm going to do it. But if it's not working, it needs to change. And even older traditions, there's a time. Like, we all know, even the elders know, not everything was meant to last forever. And actually nothing really was. So even our oldest traditions at some point have to shift a bit. But as far as the way the world goes, we can create what needs to be if we can envision, and we're not all going to have the same vision, but the planet's pretty big, so it can happen. It's like, I don't have to be in absolute agreement with the person that's on the other side of the planet, but if I can vibe with the people beside me, then that's good, and they vibe with the people beside them, then we've got the planet covered. And it's not just the people. We have to acknowledge all life, and that all of it has a purpose, and we're just a part of it. And yes, because my heart's at peace. If I'm doing what I'm meant to do, my heart's at peace. And lately, everything syncs up. That's not scary, but always surprised. Like, even when it happens, it's not uncommon, it's not unusual, but it's always surprising that I will either make a commitment or like visualize and say, okay, this is what I'm doing, and then what I need gets handed to me. It's like, I'll get an email saying, hey, are you interested? Do you need to do this? Or someone walks up to you and says, hey, I have 2 of these. Do you need one? Or, oh, I'm going over there. Would you like to come? Or, I've just met this person. And it's always in sync. I was going to say that the difficult part for me sometimes is taking the first step, or when it gets difficult, taking the next step. But it's always, if I do that in confidence and faith, then what I need always arrives. It's like, when I need it, it will be there. And part of my becoming an elder now is trusting that more. And I know as time goes on, as I continue to live, I will trust that more and more, because it's never let me down. I just need a little more trust, a little more faith that things will work out. We're born with a purpose. We are here to be of service, but there's great reward in that. It's not continual sacrifice. There's so much joy in that.